Okay. Um, so I I I'm presenting on drones in Pakistan, and this is my presentation. My name's Dallin Barlow. So the two questions that I'm tackling here are, why do we have drones in Pakistan? Why do we have them? And are they effective? I took these two questions and I broke them down. Um, the first one are pretty straightforward answers. What is a drone and what is it used for? What events led up to the U.S. deploying drones there in Pakistan? What was the goal in deploying drones into Pakistan? And the next one are they're more reflective questions. Are the drones the solution or is there a better one? Did the U.S. accomplish their goals with the drones in Pakistan? And was it worth it deploying the drones to Pakistan? Okay, what is a drone? A drone is an unmanned aerial vehicle, a UAV, and it is piloted from the ground by 2 to 3 men or by a program. It can be pre-programmed or it can be an artificial intelligence. Uh, they tend to be cheaper than traditional airplanes and they have longer flying times. They can fly sometimes up to 82 hours, which is much longer than your average airplane. There's two types of drones. There's surveillance, which are used for reconnaissance-like missions, and attack drones, drones that are basically shoot missiles and fire and have guns mounted on them. So the events that led up to us deploying drones there in Pakistan were, well, the big one was 9/11. 9/11, the U.S. goes to war with terrorism. The U.S. then it invades several countries with the intention to stop militancy in those countries. Pakistan tries to strike a deal with Al Qaeda and the Taliban to give up Osama bin Laden, but fails to do so. They were doing this with the intention that maybe they could ease up a little bit on the U.S. Coming to Pakistan. Pakistan actually allied with the United States to actually help fight terrorism in the surrounding countries. But that being said, even though it was from 2001 to 2004 was a strong ally that the United States had, the president actually said that the reason he allied with the United States because he was afraid that if he didn't, that Pakistan would be bombing in the Stone Age, meaning that the United States would bomb Pakistan all over. And so that was a big driving force why he was doing it. It was more out of fear than actually wanting to help us, according to the president of Pakistan at the time. So here's the amount of drone strikes we see in Pakistan over from 2004 to 2015. You can see that in 2008, there's a huge spike. It goes from 4 to 33, and then in 2010, it hits 97 drone strikes that year. Um, it's easy to see how many drone strikes there are. It's hard. It varies so much. The numbers vary so much in how many people actually were killed in each drone strike and whether any of those people were actually targets or civilians. But a good, a good amount of those people, a good, a, a good amount of resources say that most of those people that did die were actually civilians and not actually targets, for example, leaders or members of Al Qaeda or the Taliban. They were just civilians that happened to be around, where happened to be around those leaders in that were a part of Al Qaeda that were being targeted by the drones. So a good portion of those are are civilians. Uh, but like I say again, that information does vary on how many people actually were killed and how many people were actually targets that were killed and how many were civilians that were killed. That does vary quite a bit. So let's go back to these questions. Why do we have them? Why do we have drones in Pakistan? Uh, what is a drone and what is it used for? We covered that in slide 2. We know that's an un, unmanned aerial vehicle, a UAV, and that basically it's used for surveillance or reconnaissance missions or attacking. And in this instance, it sounds more like it was used for specifically attacking. Um, what events led up to the U.S. deploying drones there? We covered that in slide 4. We were talking about how the United States, it was mostly a big portion of, was a push for war on terrorism with with 9/11. What was the goal in deploying the drones to Pakistan? Once again, slide 4. We were trying to end militancy in these countries, and that included Pakistan. Here's some reflective questions, and I have question marks on these because I don't believe that there's really an answer for them. Are the drones the solution, or is there a better one? You decide on that one. I think there would be a better solution, but I'm not sure what it is. Did the United States accomplish their goals with the drones in Pakistan? I think that they did in a sense. They did go out to fight militancy in these countries. I think they did with Al Qaeda and the Taliban. But at the same time, there were a lot of innocent civilians that were accidentally killed in these attacks. Was it worth it? I don't know. I don't believe it was. There were a lot of innocent people that were killed, and I don't think that justifies it in the end. So, but you come up with your own answers on these based on the information provided. Um, so that's the end of my presentation, and thank you so much for your time.